Hi, and welcome back. I start every video with telling you how excited I am to talk to you about a coach, and this one holds a little bit special place in my heart. We set out to design our Epic, which is the one coach a year we're going to bring in and try to put everything we know how to do into a coach, and this is the result of that. And currently, Renegade motorhomes have about a 6 to 9 month lead time, up to a year if you're thinking about a truly custom coach. So we started thinking about this concept almost a year ago, and to see it come here and see the result, it's very rewarding for me and the crew that works here. And we're very excited to see what type of customer is going to buy this coach. And one of my goals as we videotape around it is to really make you understand, or help you to understand, what this coach is all about. One of the things that we always struggle with is colors, and everybody has a different perception of colors. I tend to think the colors lean a little more to kind of a burgundy-ish root beer kind of metallic color in the darker colors. It's just absolutely breathtaking when you see this thing up close. You can also see as we pan around the fit and finish of the coach and how the stripes all line up in the slides on it. This is a quad slide coach. It's a 2018 Renegade Classic. As I mentioned earlier, we call it the IWS Epic series, just because we think it's an epic design. Some of the neat things that Renegade does is they use full boxed in leveling legs. A lot of the RVs out there just use a round cylinder. And the problem with that, if you have regular hydraulic cylinders that are round and you just push them straight out and the coach is a little bit downhill, you have all the weight of that coach trying to bend them cylinder legs. Renegade is using these square tube legs with the cylinder inside it. So as the coach, as you'll see here, it starts to slide a little bit, the cylinder isn't experiencing any of the load. It's all being put to the jack legs. If you look at any big semi or any big piece of equipment, they're all running this type of leg design. And that's just something that I think, most people that are going out to buy a Class A motorhome or any motorhome, maybe they don't quite realize exactly what they're getting and the benefits of all of this. A lot of the stiff legs out there use hydraulic cylinders to push them down, and they require a spring pressure to pull them up. Well, imagine, if you will, if you're ever out there and you push down with the jack legs and they push through the pavement or the dirt, you want hydraulic pressure to pull them up. You'll also notice on this motorhome that we've installed larger jack legs or bigger feet pads under them. Just boggles my mind that people will buy a motorhome with little bitty feet on the stiff legs, and then every time they park, they got to crawl under it and put wood or plastic underneath it. We just designed our own leveling pad that's as big as we can make it, so you don't have to crawl under it. You're packing a large footprint with you wherever you go. There's just so many things about these coaches that separates them from the rest of the herd that I think it needs to be talked about. Now, for our Epic build, when we put batteries in epic proportions, we've installed 4 8D batteries into this motorhome. And, I don't even know how to tell you how long this will run everything inside the coach, but conservatively, I think you could run the refrigerator, the televisions, and the microwave for probably 2 days straight on this many batteries. I think it's something that you're never gonna regret. If you've only put 1 battery in a coach or 2, you'll probably always say, boy, I wish I'd have had more. When we do 4 batteries, I don't think you're ever gonna say that. Now we're gonna move into the next storage compartment back, and as you can see, we've installed the 2800 watt inverter. So this is gonna be enough inverter to take battery power and invert it to 110 AC to run the refrigerator for several days, or to run both televisions, the microwave without starting the generator. It's just a very nice piece of equipment in here. It also has the auto generator start function, and I talk about that quite a bit on the interior video. You'll also notice the little electrical wiring going into the door. All of the storage compartments on this coach, except for the generator one, are locked with a remote control. So when you enter or exit the coach, you just hit your key fob and it'll lock all the storage compartment doors. Saves a lot of time not having to go around with a key. Again, these are all options that we install because we think they're just very useful to you over the long haul. Renegade's also started installing gas struts on all the doors. That's something we pushed really hard for. In fact, we were making our own kit for quite a few years, but this year they're now standard. Now as we move to the sewage compartment, we've asked Ty to come out and try to give a demonstration on how this works. I think a lot of people are still not clear on it. So when it comes to dumping the waste system on it, all you have is this small blue hose. You can string it out as Ty did right here, and you just stick that in the sewage compartment, turn the switch on, and the macerator pump's going to grind everything up and emulsify it, and it pumps all the waste product out that little blue hose. No more are you grabbing the big 3-inch black hose and having to put on rubber gloves. Another reason we like the macerator is that in the winter you don't have to have the connection point sticking out from the bottom of the coach, and it helps to keep it more winterized. And on that subject, in this compartment, there's insulation in the door, and we've asked Renegade, we've had them do an optional, it's called ceramic spray coat or temp coat, where there's a ceramic insulation sprayed inside of the sewage and water management carpet. It's that black looking texture stuff there on the floor. We've also had them install an aqua-hot heat exchanger in this compartment. So anytime your aqua-hot is running, it's heating this storage compartment as well as the waterway. We didn't stop there. There's also heating strips on the bottom of the sewage tank. You know, when we say you can use these coaches in all 4 seasons, we truly mean it. It's not a gimmick. It's not just a salesman ploy. Being here in the Pacific Northwest, we know what it's like to be out when it's really bitter cold using your RV, and we've really put a lot of effort towards setting these motorhomes up so that you can truly use them year-round. Anywhere you want to go, you get in this coach and go. Now we're in the Renegade water management compartment. As you can see here, you have your black tank dump valve. You have your gray tank dump valve. You have your black tank wash, where there's a wash sprinkler inside there that'll does a secondary wash of your black tank. Cable TV connection. If you're in an RV park with cable TV, you can connect that right there. Has a city water or a tank fill switch, so you can fill the 150-gallon water tank under the bed, or you can leave the lever up and run directly off of city water. This coach has a power wind water hose, and that's where you control that in and out. Little things like this just really start adding up to having an enjoyable trip in your RV. Now we're going to highlight the flow jet, and it is a little confusing because it's the flow jet macerator system, and you just turn this switch on to start that process. Here's your low point water drain. I talked about how easy it is to winterize a coach like this, and that step 1 is to open that valve and drain the water out backwards. And then we have a pressurized water spigot in case you want to hook a garden hose on there and wash the coach, or wash a cooler out, or wash your car, or hose down a kid like I do quite a bit. Here's a quick shot of the thermostat controller for the aqua-hot heat exchanger in the sewage compartment, so you can control the temperature there. So we've installed 3 large air conditioners on this motorhome. So in order to drive them effectively, we stepped up to the Cummins Awning 12.5 kW generator. And this is really, a Kubota tractor engine. And it's interesting, people a lot of times on a used motorhome will say, hey, how many hours on the generator? And maybe there's 200 hours on it, and they'll say, wow, that's a lot. I think if you really get to understand these engines, to see thousands of hours on them is nothing. I don't even know how many hundreds of hours you got to go to consider this thing even broke in, but this generator was designed to run. It's something you shouldn't try to save, to make it last longer, because it is really, if you read the operations manual, it's better to run this generator for at least 2 hours than it is just to run it for 20 minutes. And it's really designed to be run for thousands of hours. Now, as we move around to the rear of the coach, you'll start to see a lot of the consistent things that we're doing with these Renegade Classics. This coach has a 40,000 pound trailer hitch, but when we put the 2 5/16 ball on like it has now, it's derated down to 30,000 pounds. More than enough hitch to handle just about any trailer you can put behind this. We can also put a receiver hitch on it if you want to run a smaller 2-inch ball for flat towing your pickup. All kinds of options with this adjustable hitch. It's just massive. When you really see this thing up close, you start to understand what a competent motorhome this really is. Here's the 7-way connector for the trailer connection. Here's the plug-in for the remote. If you want to have us install a camera on your trailer, we can put a backup camera on the trailer, and this is where you would plug it in. I also want to point out we have a 30 amp plug in the compartment, so that if you want to pull a race trailer with air conditioning, you can plug into the coach and use that big 12.5 generator to power it. You'll also see it has glad hands on it for if you're pulling a trailer with air brakes. Now, as we move our way up on the coach, you'll see the big ladder that we've installed. A lot of people have said, well, why do you put ladders up there? Well, this has a full walk-on roof, so if you want to go up there and watch a race from the top of the roof, you can sure do that. You can put 4 or 5 people up there, no problem at all. If you want to get up there and clean the solar panels, you can sure do that. If you need to access a satellite, that can all be done from just going up on the roof. You'll also notice we installed our security light package on it, so there's 5 large LED lights located around the coach. Here you can see them on the passenger side. They're mounted in each slide, so when you illuminate that, you're illuminating almost 360 degree around the coach, and each light has high and low settings. It's just amazing. Not just for security, but in the evening when you're trying to clean up your campsite, you can just flip them lights on. Now, as we move through the storage compartment, almost every compartment on the passenger side is storage except for this box. And we've intentionally had the AquaHot mounted in one of the aft storage compartments, so we put it underneath the slide so it's not in a compartment that you'll need to get into much more than once or twice a year. I talked quite a bit about the AquaHot on the interior video, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it here, other than in the basic simple way this thing works is there's a boiler in here, and it circulates hot glycol through the motorhome through radiators. So that hot water is circulating. When an area needs heat, the fan will come on and warm up that area. It's really the best of the best when it comes to heating and cooling systems. All you have to do is go look at NADA guide and see how much of an ad this thing adds on the resale. It's the #1 name out there, AquaHot. I'm really glad that Renegade's staying with them. They're an American-made company. It's just a very robust system. And again, feel free to call us and we'll talk to you more in depth about this. Now, in this compartment is the central vac, so it's plumbed inside of the coach, but you'll also see that port right there. And you can plug your connection hose on there if you want to vacuum out your tow vehicle or vacuum the storage compartments outside the coach. Very convenient to get to. Also gives you an extra 110 outlet outside of the coach. We're installing the new Dometic fridge freezer. And in order to make this thing fit, we actually designed our own slide out tray, so that was made by our shop. The reason I felt so strongly that we should carry this is, my last trip from Alaska, I had a fridge freezer underneath. And every time I stopped, I'd have to slide it out to make sure the thing was working because I was worried my fish were going to thaw out. This new Dometic has an app that we put on our IWS Advantage Package iPad that you get, We can program it so an alarm will sound inside on the iPad if the temperature gets too warm. You can also control the temperature from inside the coach. Again, it's all these little things that we keep trying to do to enhance the usability. Here you can see the carpeted cover for the stepwell if you want to use that on the inside of the coach. Also installed an outside entertainment center on it. As you can see, there's a 32-inch LED TV. Also has a DVD player, stereo, CD player, MP3 player. You can plug your iPad into it or iPod into it, play music outside of the coach. It's connected to the satellite on the inside. We've also installed an additional 110 outlet in the side of the coach. That kind of comes from a couple things. One, a lot of our customers have switched to the Weber all-electric barbecue grills. This is a great place to plug it in. I tend to put my vacuum packer for vacuum packing my fish. Here's a nice shot of it with the two slides out on this side. And we're really just trying to point out the fit and finish of the paint and the colors to you and why we call this thing our epic coach. Now we're gonna push out this awning on this coach, and we've installed the Zip-D full roof awning on it. I think it's just incredible when you see this. As Jill said, we're about to show you the world's largest awning. It's just truly an epic awning for an epic coach. And you'll notice when you look at the front of this coach that we've done another awning cover on the driver's side so that it looks balanced. But this is the only side that actually functions. The other one is just a dummy awning cover to make the look right. This awning has a lighted LED lead rail on it, has wind sensors on it. It's just spectacular. You really got to see this thing. Now we're going to move up on the roof because, I think it's very important for you to get the full understanding of what we've done on this coach and how we've set it up. This is a true max air vent. The reason I like these vents so much is you can run them as you're driving down the road at 80 miles an hour. Another neat feature is you can actually use them when it's raining outside because it prevents the water from coming down inside the coach. Me and my wife just absolutely love to have the vents running when it's raining outside. If you're using a rainproof vent, which a lot of people brag about, the dang thing just keeps closing on you. So it's kind of annoying, and that's why we equip our coaches with these. Here is the Winegard Traveler high definition satellite system as it's powering up. You'll also notice just beyond it is that black dome, and that's the Winegard InMotion satellite. I talk about this quite a bit on the interior video, but we equip this coach with both options. So the satellite that you see right now running, that big boy will track on to 3 satellites, and it'll allow you to get high definition television. It'll also allow you to run your DirecTV DVR. However, for obvious reasons, you couldn't use it driving down the road. This is for stationary use only. When you look at the black dome, it has the Winegard InMotion satellite. The disadvantages to it is it only locks onto one satellite. You can't use a DVR with it. But what you can do is use it while you're driving down the road. Hope all that makes sense. Now we move down into the meat of this coach, and that is the power plant. And as I mentioned before, this is a Freightliner Cascadia. It's a true Class 8 over-the-road truck, and we've equipped it with this incredible DD16 Detroit engine. This thing produces 600 horsepower. Currently, as far as I know, this is the largest engine on planet Earth with the most possible horsepower that we can put in a motorhome. And the driving experience in this coach is just unbelievable. This is an engine that's designed to pull well over 80,000 pounds. You're going to weigh about 40,000 pounds empty, so you're not even working this engine when you're driving this motorhome up and down the road, unless you're pulling a super big enclosed stacker trailer fully loaded. This thing isn't even breaking a sweat. The reports we're getting back on it is that you're going to get anywhere from 7.5 to 10 miles a gallon with this engine. It's designed to go well over 1 million miles. I think, the biggest crime you can do to this engine is not get out and run it. I think it should be a badge of honor that you can tell your friends how many miles you put on your motorhome, because this bad boy is designed to get out and run. Our speed limits out here are 80 miles an hour. When you get in this thing to run 80, 85 it's totally comfortable in it. It's just an exceptional driving experience. So I hope I've done a good job of giving you a tour of our epic coach. I really do feel it's an epic build. I'm really looking forward to meeting the person that wants to own this coach, and I'm really proud to offer it for sale. Thank you for spending some time with us. Thanks for you that are subscribing to our YouTube channel. It means a lot to us. It tells us that you like what we're doing, and we're going to keep on doing it. Don't hesitate to give us some feedback. And thanks again for your time, and I truly look forward to meeting you all in person. Thanks.